Welcome to NefariousCast.com. My name is Josh, and I'm going to be your host today. And we're going to be dipping into a subject that's a little off topic from what we've been talking about these last few weeks, and it is tactical psychology. Now, I bring this up because it's in every part of our lives. We deal with it every day, whether it's at work or something we watch on TV or the games we play. It's embedded in everything that we do. Now, when I say tactical psychology, I'm talking about, I'm sure that most of you at some point in time have heard that if you paint the walls at your work or in your home a certain color, that it is more pleasing and it's less likely to cause anger or to relax a person. I mean, there's all sorts of things behind it. Some people call it feng shui and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's psychology. It's how your body perceives different stimulus and what that stimulus gets you to do. Okay. Psychology is no longer just helping people deal with their issues. Big companies are using it to get you to buy their products. And by doing that, they need to instill something inside of you that creates that desire to go out and buy their product, whether it's convincing you that a particular product is going to bring absolute bliss to your life, like you're living on a tropical island and every day will be, candy and sunshine. And they need to be able to effectively convince you of this and instill that feeling so that you rush out and buy their product. Your work deals with it. They deal with it on how they deal with you every day. You know, the office environment, things of that nature. How can you be more productive? What can they do? The little subtle things that you don't notice that they can change and manipulate in your environment at work that will get you to be more productive and help them out as a company. So, like I said, it's been around for years. I'm going to be talking about a game I've been playing for about 3 years as an example. And in talking about that, you'll kind of see the points that I'm making. So we're going to take a look at a few different clips here, and I'm gonna kind of talk you through some of this. It's going to be a little bit of history on the company as well as what the game does in order to get people to buy more things that are associated with the game. So take a look and here, just kind of bear with me on this, and we'll kind of talk you through this. Okay, so here's the intro to Small Games, the Empires and Puzzles game. This first part, when you log on, it's going to tell you results of different things. This is a Titan that our entire team fought together. You get certain rewards for fighting these things, and those are the rewards you see, the loot tiers and things. This is the victory for our alliance war that we were in. You have one alliance war. I believe it's every other day or every 15, 20 hours, something like that. I'd have to look at it again, but you get loot from that. If you win, you get a little bit if you lose. These are pop-ups. These are ads and things asking you to buy things that the game offers. You got to get used to those. You can have as much as 8 to 10 of them pop up. It gets annoying. They're always trying to sell you something on this game. This is my alliance or some members of it. You go by ranking on trophies that you have. That's not always an indicator how strong they actually are. Here is a chat for our alliance. You can go in and chat with your members and things like that. If you're not a part of an alliance, there's also actually, you can go into the global chat room even if you are in an alliance, and you can go talk to people, just random people that are on. That does block out cuss words and things like that. It'll put different things in, so it keeps it pretty clean for the kids. But in any case, that's what the game offers. There's my base. Different buildings and everything on the base. You've got to build and level everything up, and it takes time. This is a hero academy where you can train certain heroes. It takes time to do anything on here. This is the alchemy lab. This is one thing that I was excited to level up. Each one of these tiers takes a while. This one right here was a bum deal because this is one of 2 levels, the last ones you get, that takes weeks to level up. You are waiting for weeks while your builder is leveling this thing up, only to find out it's going to cost you 200 gems there at the bottom to be able to do this. Those are necessary things to level up your guys. You get them, earning them in the game, but it takes forever. And Unfortunately, you can buy them, but it's expensive. It can get expensive. So each one of these tiers took a certain amount of time to level up. The first ones obviously did not take as long as the last ones, but and you have to level the building up, level your base up. I mean, there's always things that you have to level up in order to level up something else. But this was a bum deal, and I think it's a ripoff because you literally, for these last two, have waited probably close to a month or more to level those things up, only to find out it's going to cost you gems in order to use it. Those are the only two things that I've found so far that did that, and that is a total ripoff to people playing it, and shame on you, Empires and Games. So this, again, is the Hero Academy, where you can train certain heroes, and it's kind of worth it to some degree if you're looking for specific type of heroes. You have epic, they're rated by stars, epic, legendary, things like that, and that's that's kind of how strong they are. And the more stars the hero is worth, the more ascension materials you're going to need, and it can be costly. You can earn them again in the game, but it takes a long time. The book that you need to level up and do ascension things on just about every hero, I only get 3 of those a year. That's how I've been able to earn, is 3 of those a year. Otherwise, you have to buy them, and what they come with can cost anywhere from $30 to $50 to $100. So there's an example of how long it's going to take at 12 days, 13 hours to level up that particular building, to be able to level up the last slot, which once I level up the building, it unlocks it, but then I have to research it again, which takes another amount of time in order to unlock it and be able to utilize it. So a lot of time invested in this game. I've got 2 years, actually probably closer to 3 years now into this game, and almost $1,000. So it takes a lot of time. These are my heroes that I have. Some are pretty strong, some are not. I've got a lot of heroes that are sitting waiting for ascension because I just don't have the ascension materials, and I'm not going to spend the money that I spent off the bat. I think in the first year and a half I spent the majority, 3/4 of the money I spent, and I kind of refused to spend any more money on this game. It was more of just to see how things can go. It occupies your time when you're doing nothing. It definitely is an interesting game, but it is a game where, as I'll show you here in the future, you are going to be playing a game where the ref is going to decide the outcome. And I will go more into detail about that because that's kind of our topic, as the psychology in the things that we deal with in whether it's games or other ads and things people are trying to sell us. Psychology is built in, and it is for one thing. They view us as a slot machine, and they're looking for their payout, and we're giving it to them. This game, even though it is frustrating to play and it does not follow its own rules when it comes to the computer, and it does change things. You are bound by rules to this game, but the same rules do not apply to the game, and it is always stacked against you. Now, I'm not talking about difficulty levels and things like that. That is to be expected in a game. There's stronger heroes and things like that. I'm talking about the rules on how the game actually functions does not apply to the actual game, and it's because of the psychology of getting you to figure out that you need to level up your heroes, and you should spend more money to do so. Okay, so this is one of the examples I was talking about where the ref is deciding the game. This is where I'm attacking another team. This is actually not a player. The computer assumes the player when you're at war with another team. It is actually not a person I'm playing against. It is the computer. And as you can see, I'm running an all-red team, but I don't have a whole lot of red shields. You need 3 shields or more in certain formations to do damage. As you can see, there's almost no damage being done to the other team. I was able to get one off and kill one of the opponents, but it's not giving me anything to level up my guys. And you can see their energy is draining. The blue bar is the mana for them to do their special skill and attack. But I'm just getting hammered here because it is not giving me any red, a whole lot of red. It's kind of popping up, but you got to piece it together. And that's a lot of what the computer does is it will withhold your colors, especially if you're running an all solid color team. This is the fire heroes here. And it will withhold it for until you're down 2 to 3 guys. So I've had it withhold it to where I haven't gotten one single shot off between any of my guys, and I've done 0 damage. As you can see, I'm just kind of waiting to die here. It sucks that it's really not random in a lot of cases. And the more they get hit, they level up every time they get hit, and they level up when they hit me. Whereas I only level up guys when I'm actually hitting them. And there's the team right there. I was actually more powerful than that team, but that doesn't matter when the computer is playing against you. Okay, so here is a little bit about the company, Small Giant. Their CEOs, you can go on their website, find all this information out if you're really interested in it. Just a little bit of background for them, kind of what they believe, their company statement, things like that. So this one here is TechCrunch, and they did an article, some financial things. As you can see, the company's worth a lot of money, and they make a lot of money. At the time of this article, which was about 5 years ago, they were pulling in about $33 million a year in revenue from Empires and Puzzles. And they did that within the first 10 months of putting it out. So it was pretty impressive. Here's the rest of that article explaining some more financial things that happened in 2018. But as you can see, this company is about money. They did this as a business, which obviously great for them. I'm encourage entrepreneurship and things like that. It is obviously a very successful thing for them. Okay, so now that we've had a little bit of time to take a look at the clips and take a look at some of the financials and the background information, basically my point of this whole thing is the company manipulates small portions of the gameplay to instill in the people that are playing the game that they need to level up their people. And the only way to do that is to essentially play for the rest of your life and really not spend a dime, and hopefully you can get materials and things and level your people up. Now, the reality is the only way to really play this game effectively and cut down your time frames for what it takes to play the game considerably is to spend money. And unfortunately, they do a good job with all the pop-ups and different things that come up. And as you saw, there are certain things you've waited. I waited, almost a month to unlock and level up, only to find out that it now costs money when you having to purchase those gems in order to continue to play and get some of the things that I actually need. So these games tout being a free game, but it's not free. In order to play the game and be successful at it, you have to spend money, and the truth of the matter is you have to spend a lot of money when you're doing other things in life. And it's the same principle when you're watching your commercials and things like that. These commercials are really convincing you in many different ways to that you absolutely have to have their product. Okay, movies have conditioned people to, by watching these movies, people now think that that's the way life actually is in some cases. And there's some truth because of the research that is done with movies, but there are portions and ideals in these movies that are not the way life is. Okay, we all know that life is not some fairy tale for 99.999% of us. I'm sure that there might be one out there, but That is not the way life is. But we are really trained and conditioned through all this media and this tactical psychology of these companies paying people to say, hey, listen, I want somebody to buy into this ideal, whether it's buying my product or something I'm trying to convey and get people to think. How do I go about doing that? And these psychologists are coming up with methods to essentially accomplish that goal, and they're getting paid big money for that, okay? My point is, when we're dealing with this stuff every day, realize that you're dealing with it, okay? Realize that you need to understand that life and the things that you're bombarded with every day are not an immediate need, okay? They're not something that you have to have right away. Now, I'm as guilty as this as anybody, okay? I have done this in the past. I've bought into things and bought things I thought I needed, only to find out that, hey, you know what? I had everything I needed to begin with. You know, everybody's going into debt. Everybody is, you know, especially lower incomes right now are trying to find ways financially to get by, and a lot of people out there are making bad decisions financially. Now, I am not a financial planner. Let's get that straight right now. But I know that I am cheap, and you can ask a lot of people this, and I try to find the best deals possible, and I try to save money. And there is a lot of times where I will have something ready to buy because it's like, man, that would make my life easier. I know that it looked like something I need, only to come to my senses and click on it and get out of that website or whatever it is and delete it off and realize, hey, you really don't need that. Yeah, it would be great, but, you know. So when you're dealing with this stuff throughout your week, and understand that there's a psychology behind it. That's why you feel the way you do. That's why you have this immediate need to go out and either do something or buy something or think a certain way, and just try to understand and know that that's happening to you. And really, especially with some of these games in the gaming world, it could cost you a ton of money. So I'm not saying that the game that I play is bad. It's an entertaining game. It's frustrating. I think there's a lot of things about the game I don't like. There's a lot of things I do like. But at the end of the day, you know, I've decided not to spend a whole lot of money on it and just kind of go with what I've got. And that's just an example of a mentality that I've come to, and that I think that as a whole that we all need to come to say, okay, I know that these things I'm seeing and what they're doing is targeted directly at me and to make me feel or think a certain way so that they can make money off of me. And I've already said in previous videos, I'm all for people making money. Some of the way that people are being targeted really puts us as a people at a disadvantage, because if you haven't had a whole lot of, should I say, experience with this, you won't know what hit you. So that's really all I'm trying to say this week. That's really all the video's about. Be careful what you're seeing and what you're buying into, where you're spending your money, and your thought process on things, because I promise you someone has paid big money to make you feel and think that way. Realize realize what's happening, and you can save a lot of money and sometimes a lot of heartache. That being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in this week, and we'll eventually get back to the character series. But I want to thank everybody again that's supporting this channel, that's watching the YouTube, liking and subscribing, and who continue to come back week after week and hear me blather on about things. Hopefully, I'm helping your life in a certain way, getting you to maybe think differently about things. I really encourage people, as you can tell when you look at the thumbnails and things on my site, think for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go do some research. Go look up at the companies that you buy products from, the companies you deal with, and really think about, your life and some of the details in it. And maybe that'll help you steer through all this financial woes and different things that come up every day. That being said, I want to thank everybody once again, and I'll see you when I see you.